Finally taking that vacation you've always dreamt of. Going for a walk on the beach and taking in the peace and quiet. Life couldn't be any better. No waking up at the crack of dawn, and no pesky boss to ask you to meet deadlines. Sitting on the beach, sipping on your pina colada with nothing to worry. Because you know you've made the right investments as your cash reserves just continue growing on autopilot, without you even having to think about them. Isn't it great sleeping in, making money as you sleep, and waking up to a newly found stack of cash that's just been accumulating in your sweet dreams while your investments just constantly work for you, wherever you may be? That's right, if you haven't guessed it yet, today we're talking about the holy grail of any inspiring entrepreneur or investor, passive income. After all, nobody's ever made a video on how to passively make $1,000 a month, $100 a day, $300 a day, $500 a day, or $700 a day. Now don't get me wrong, there's some extremely good information in those videos, and you should definitely go watch them all if you're at all interested in creating passive income. But instead of just detailing what these passive income sources are or how to build them like many people already did in their videos, instead, I'll talk about what really goes on behind the scenes as you try to create these passive income sources. Because as flashy as it may be, what you're seeing there is really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to passive income. Because honestly, it's crucial to emphasize just how much effort or time or money is necessary to actually create these passive income sources at any meaningful scale or be able to sustain them for long periods of time. So without further ado, this is the cold, hard truth about passive income in 2020. Welcome back, everybody. I'm the Rooster, and today's topic is the real truth behind passive income. To begin with, passive income is just a category of financial gains where you don't have to be physically present while the income is being generated. This is fundamentally different from a job where you work for a wage or tips which you collect directly as a result of your time, energy, and effort that you just spent. Passive income does have very desirable and sometimes flashy benefits, like being able to use your time as you want and not having to work for anyone as long as you can lower your expenses to below what your passive income is. Now, depending on how much passive income you generate and how much flexibility you're looking for, you may actually have to live a fairly minimalist lifestyle, which certainly is not for everybody. Or if you do generate quite a lot of passive income compared to your regular expenses, you may be able to afford all the flashy gadgets and cars that you've ever wanted. But if you're just starting to look for passive income sources, one major point to keep in mind is that passive income is not free and it is not quick. Take, for instance, one of the most popular passive income sources out there, dividend stocks. These are stocks of certain companies where if you buy shares of those companies and hold those shares, typically every couple of months they will distribute you a reward from a portion of their earnings for having invested in that company. That reward is called a dividend. The amount of these dividends are determined by the company's board of directors and can be as high as 5%, especially for companies in the oil and gas as well as the financial sectors. At the same time, some companies do not pay dividends at all, at least currently, and instead choose to reinvest those rewards for future growth. And these companies include some very famous ones like Amazon, Google or Alphabet, and Netflix. Some people really believe that especially for investing in short to midterm, dividend stocks are one of the most attractive investment tools that one can buy. Oh, thank you, Mr. Wonderful. That's Kevin O'Leary, everyone, a very successful investor and entrepreneur who believes that dividends are one of the key reasons to be purchasing any stock. Keeping those facts in mind, let's work out how much you have to have invested in order to reach a passive monthly income of $50, which is obviously not enough to pay for rent, but is at least meaningful. On average, we'll assume that your investments generate a 2% annual dividend paid every 3 months, on top of an annual growth of 7%. Let's also say that you're able to add $100 to this investment every month. If you keep doing that consistently, you'd find that your investment grows fairly slowly at first, and after 3 months, it equals $303. and that you've also just received a dividend payment of a grand total of $1.52. A lot of people choose to reinvest that dividend since they don't need to spend that $1.52 right away and just let that become a part of the investment. Now the investment can keep growing, still fairly slowly during this initial stage, but all the while benefiting from that $100 of cash injection every month. If you consistently do this for a year, you'll find that in the last months of that year, the dividend income you're generating will reach $6.27, which is just over $2 a month. Now, with that information, take a minute to guess how long you need to be doing this in order to generate $10 a month. Turns out the answer is just over 4 years of consistent investing. But remember that $100 a month you're putting in? That continues to work for you throughout all this. And to generate $50 a month? 13 years. By that time, you would have over $30,000 invested, which yields around $600 a year with that 2% annual dividend, which is about $50 a month. That's right, you want to generate half of your consistent monthly injection in passive dividends? At these rates, that takes 13 years. And it's easy to scale this, which means if you're able to invest $1,000 a month instead of $100, after those 13 years, you'd be generating $500 every month in those dividends. Obviously, a very small percentage of people have $30,000 just readily available to invest. And I don't mean to paint an overly pessimistic picture of dividend investing, but starting early, and if you haven't already, starting right now is extremely important when it comes to generating any meaningful passive income. I discussed the reasons why you should start investing right now in my earlier video. You can check that out here or by using the first link in the description. Another aspect of passive income that can be obscured is that it is not easy, especially when it comes to the online creator community in general. And that's because you can find a lot of people talking about how YouTube is a passive income source because your videos from a couple years ago can still get thousands of views every month. And if you're able to do that, that's great. But it's possible that there's actually more than it meets the eye when it comes to this so-called passive YouTube income. When you, as a viewer, go on YouTube, you're presented with a collection of recommended videos that Google thinks you might like to watch and enjoy for long periods of time. Because that's the name of the game, maximize viewer satisfaction and keep them returning to the platform. And with some exceptions, majority of views on YouTube come from those recommendations. If you happen to be a new user in the platform and watch just a couple of videos, you'll quickly realize that most of the recommended videos will be from the channels that you just watched. In fact, it is very common to see the sidebar just loaded with content from only 1 or 2 channels just because you happen to watch a couple of their videos earlier. While yes, I would love to watch another 15 hours of Shark Tank, but maybe later. There's a really insightful video by Derek from Veritasium a couple of years ago where he goes into detail about his new videos being recommended more frequently than his older videos that actually were very successful. He also says that most of his views are starting to come in the first day he publishes the video, which a few of the really highest quality channels have also agreed with, including that channel, which if you've ever seen one of their videos, you know they emphasize extremely high quality content rather than quantity. This is further evidence to prove new videos are being recommended more strongly than older videos, making videos just a few days old potentially extremely difficult to discover by new users. So just from these two facts, you could see that for a channel's older video to be recommended, the viewer would probably first stumble on a new video by that same channel in their sidebar and watch it, and only then have that same channel's older video be recommended to them. That means unless a channel is consistently creating videos over a period of months or years, it is unlikely that a video they made 3 years ago would be recommended to many viewers today. All that is to say that unless a creator is actively and consistently putting in the time, effort, and money in creating engaging and interesting content, their older videos are much less likely to be watched. This is also true with all the affiliate marketing links, which a lot of people list as a great source of passive income. But keep in mind that the number of referrals through those links are directly tied to the number of views that these videos receive. That makes YouTube much like a job with deadlines and requirements which a lot of people would not consider passive anymore. Now that it's clear passive income is not free and not easy, the next thing you have to think about is the opportunity cost of having to spend all that time and money. Whether it is that $30,000 that you need to generate the $50 a month dividend income, or the 3 years you spend making hundreds of videos, one really wonders what they're giving up in the process. Are you deciding not to go on that cruise with your friends and instead invest the money? Or are you sacrificing eating dinner with your family to instead plan and create YouTube videos? Clearly, life goals are different for everyone, but one can lose sight of what's important in one's life if all they ever think about is investing and making money. And know that sometimes those goals can be investing in yourself, your own or your family's education or health, which a lot of people find are keys to success in life. Dalai Lama once said that what he found most surprising in humanity was that we sacrifice our health in order to make money, and then later on we sacrifice money in order to regain our health, and that we are so anxious about the future that we do not enjoy the present. So whatever it may be, will these passive income sources you plan on creating help you achieve your goals in the future? And are those goals worth what you're sacrificing for them right now? These are important questions that everybody has different answers for, and these answers may change as you get older. But one thing is for sure. One builds passive income sources for a reason, and it is important to have solid reasons and goals, put in the consistent effort, and know from very early on that it is never free, never quick, and also never easy. Thank you so much for watching Rooster Wisdom. I hope this information was useful for your financial journey, you found it insightful, and it helps you make better decisions. If so, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and click the bell icon if you want to be notified of new videos.